Hello, dear Senator. You has been appointed as a session chair. So please, you can unmute yourself and start. Senator, you are now host of the session. Please unmute.
Hello?
Yeah. Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. Hello? Is it audible?
Yes, it is audible, and it is time to now to start the session.
Okay. Today the speaker is Mr. Dahov Govil. Sorry for the pronunciation, if it is well pronounced. Okay. Mr. Drov is a data scientist and consultant, and also is global logic guardian in India. Hello?
Yes, please carry on.
Okay. He worked in top corporates, house in India, Link in Puma and Tata Motor Limited organization, and is hello. He is going to present advanced charts and control plots, polar charts, and the plots toolkits, and the 3D surfaces, scatter plots in 3D, bar charts in 3D, multiple panel plots, display subplots with an other subtools, grids of subtools, and algorithm. And lastly, he will present linear regression, logistic regression, and naive Bayes. So in today's topic, the presenter addressed those topics, and all participants, after his presentation, you will ask for clarification and what you want to know on the topics. So it is possible to start the presentation. This is from my side, Doctor.
Thank you, Professor, to introduce today's speaker. Now I hand over mic to Dhruv Govil.
Hello, sir. Thank you so much. Such a
Yes,
welcome from your side, from your end.
Yes, now you are a presenter of the session, and you can unmute and start the session, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Welcome, guys, again. In today's session, our target is Pandas, some plotting libraries with the linear and the multiple regression, because these topics is take a lots of time. So minimum target of today, my session is only the Pandas, matplotlib. We use some C-bond also with the linear and the multiple linear regression, how we can use that algorithm in the business scenario in the corporate sector to for prediction. So I'm just starting my session. So guys, first of all, I want to tell you we can download the Jupyter so that it will be easier to work on that part in the Google. If you type on the Google search, download Anaconda, to observe this window will be opening in front of your screen, and you can download Jupyter Anaconda according to your laptop configuration, 64-bit graphical cards, Windows or Linux or Apple, MacBook. You have to download according to yourself, and the Anaconda, there is multiple options. Just like if you want to Jupyter Lab, you want to do R programming, if you want to go for the Jupyter Notebook, PyCharm, all this application is in collab in only in the Anaconda. So this is the procedure. Through that, we can download our Jupyter Notebook and we can start this. Okay, so now we move on the Jupyter file, and today target of our session. So guys, today our target session is pandas and all these libraries, which become very easier, to data analysis and the prediction of the data, which is also known by the name of data scientist, data science, or machine learning, and even the analytics also. So first of all, we have to import the pandas library. If somebody asks you about the pandas, what is pandas library? So you definitely define that the pandas is a open source library. It's the open source library. It is used it's used to data structure to put and output selection, dropping of columns, sorting the data, columns, sorting the data, even the data wrangling also is a very important part. Data wrangling and data manipulation, and the data manipulation. So basically, so this is the pandas library. We have import the now we have to import the data set by the name of some m1 or mt equals to the pd.read underscore csv, because we are downloading the csv file, mpcards.csv. So if we go for the print of empty and just observe it, or rather than this, if you go for directly simple empty, then it will be also show you in the board letter the headers. The headers you are observing, the mpg, cyl, dis, hp, drat, weight, qsec, these are the variables. And variables is nothing which is storing some information, or we can say it is an object also, or we can say which tell us the characteristic of a particular item. So in Python, in the first session, I already informed you, in the Python, we have the counting start from the 0. Okay, so as you observe in the first row is indicated by the number of 0, not by the 1. So keep remember this thing, because this is the most important part in Python, which makes the different from the other two Python. Okay, now if you don't remember any function, so simply you have to take the help, asking the help from the Jupyter about the pandas. So just helping. So Jupyter helps you. So you can write pd dot series dot log. So they will also help you what function we are using to in the pandas log. So there are the different many functions as you observe in this, how we can create the data frame, how we can select the rows and columns, what will be the format of all this. So because Pandas is used for the data management part, basically. If we can manage our data according to the requirement of the business objective, then definitely after that we can use a machine learning algorithm. If we cannot manage the data, manage of data indicates that which variable is the important part. Because all the variables, while prediction is not the important, we have to find. So we have to first find out the important parameters by using some statistical concept. Then we can apply the data management. Then we can go for the machine learning algorithm. Okay. So simply in this, we can find out the many of the inbuilt functions also. Okay. Just you can go and read this help section. You have find a lots of useful information. Okay. So now if we are go for the dropping, okay, dropping the columns. Suppose we go for the drop. So if we go for the drop, then you know in the Python, it always start from the zero. And if we check the matrix, because data is always in the matrix form, row into column. So row is indicated by the zero, column is indicated by the one. So I will be right over here. Okay, because data is always in the tabular form, row and columns. Okay. Columns. So row is always indicated by the zero and column is always indicated by the one. So that is it is known as the axis. Okay. So axis of column is always be the one. Now how we can apply it? Just see this. Suppose I want to drop some column by creating a new data frame by the name of M1. Okay, and use the main data set that is I imported by the name of empty and type the drop function and drop, and simply we have write the mpg and disk and some weight wt and some am also. Okay, I can simply use and I type the again m1. So just see this. Oh, sorry, I'm not mentioning the axis. So that's why. Just see this. What type of error? You have to, if once you understand the error, then definitely you make up go in the, on the way of confidence. Because without understanding the error, you cannot remove the errors also. So just see this. If you are observing in this data, they are a column. So I have to check it, how we can find out the these things. What are the dimensions of the data? I will show you dimension of the data set. So, and we have to use empty dot shape function. Through that, we can find out the dimension of the tuple. So the tuple is that we are not using this parenthesis brackets. So simply you have observing it, it's 32 by 11. 30 is indicated by the rows and 11 is the column. So out of 11 columns, I have dropped the 4 columns, and if you are counting this rather than counting, again we have using the shape function m1 dot shape, and you can see this 32 by 7. So means I am dropping the 4 variables, 4 columns by using this function. Okay. So there is another method also how to drop the rows. Now, how we can drop the rows also. This is also the very important. If you want to know the another method how to drop the column, then this is the another method, another approach to drop the column, another approach to create a data frame by dropping columns. Okay. So what is another procedure? Again, I created a data frame by the some different names. If I will be give the same name of a data frame, then it can override the previous one. Also, always keep remember whenever you create a new variable, new data frame or new object, so you have to select assign a new name, total different from the previous one. If it will be repeatable, then it can override the previous one. Keep always remember. So it's very difficult whenever you move forward further steps. So you can lose the information of the previous one that you had already run it. So guys, keep remember all these things. This is the basic things toward the data approaching. Because without the data approach, you will not become a data scientist. First, you understand the data, and data speaks. Data speaks, but you can understand the data voice by your using your naked eyes, not by the ears. Because data always sound. The good data scientists always, sorry, always understand the data voice through the eyes, not the ears. So please don't rush up towards to solving the problem of business or business problem. You first to observing the data. You take 1 hour, 2 hour, 2 days, 2 months even also. Once you solve the basic problem of the data, once you find out the basic information inside from the data, which is known by the name of insightable actions, then it becomes easier to apply any machine learning algorithm by using the data science concepts. Okay, so now I'll put a different name M2 and empty dot drop. This is another method. Here I define the columns equals to creating the list. What columns I remove is for the VS. In this we have to drop the R. In this we have to drop the KR. Okay. Just see this. Okay. So now if I have to check the dimensions, so n2 dot shape, let's see this 32 by 7 again. If I can add a one more column, number of time 5, I will suppose mpg. See this. 32 by 6. This is the second method, and this is the first method. In this, you have to define the axis, but we have not mentioned the columns. So axis 1 indicate that we are trying to drop a columns. Okay. And in this, we have mentioned the columns equals to naming. In this, we have no need to mention the axis because it's totally indicated that we are trying to drop columns. Now, the another thing is that I strike over here, how we can drop a number of rows. Okay. So dropping a rows. Dropping a rows. Default axis is equals to 0. As I told you in the upper syntax, upper function, upper argument, that in the rows we have always mentioned is equal to the 0 and column is always for the 1. So here we have axis 0 that indicates that is indicate dropping the rows. So again, I'm assigning a new name by the name of M3 is equals to the main data set name is empty dot drop, and in the column, in the rows, you don't need to mention the names. You have only mentioned the numbers. Okay. So suppose I drop the 12, 6, 27. As you see, the observation is the 32. Just see this 32. So if I try to beyond 32, then it shows me an error. Just see this. Just see this. One example. See this. It shows me an error. Now read it and understand the error. I get that 33 not found in axis. Got it? Because 33 is not mentioned. The number of 33 doesn't mention. The maximum number is 32. So I have to mention the 32. Then if I can run it, M3, just wait, is what is the, okay, sorry, the 32 is number of count, but it's about 31. See this, 12 and 6, 27. Is the 12 number and 6 number is missing in this table, in this data frame? Yes, 27 and 31. Show me where is 27. 27 is also missing and 31 is also missing. So this is the procedure to drop a rows. Okay, guys. I hope so. This is clear to all of you. Okay. Now we move some other parts, some statistical concept. Okay. One of the most important part, I gave you some introduction about the variables. The first lecture, what are variables? What is the characteristics of an item? As you observe it, the MPGs tell us the characteristics. By the name MPG, it shows the mileage per gallon. So same here. If I find out the types of variable means behavior of a data set. Behavior of a data set. Guys, just give me a second. Just give me a second. Sorry, guys. Important call. That's fine. Okay. So behavior of a data set or type of variables or type of variables. So it's my request. Anyone student, please confirm me. Am I clearly audible to everyone?
Yes, sir. I think you are clearly audible to all of the
Thank you
participants.
so
And
much.
still, if there is any problem, participant can put in the chat box.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Now, if somebody asks you, the examiner will ask what type of data you are working. So data is the always combination of a character as well as the regression, numerical. Okay. So you have seen this empty dot d type. See this. MPG behavior is floating. Floating is always indicate the numerical value. Decimals value, not the numerical, is the part of numerical. The variables are always divided into the two concepts, two parts. One is numerical, another one categorical. Categorical is also known by the name of qualitative, and numerical is also known by the name of quantitative. Numerical furtherly known another name, that is an object, and numerical is divided into the further, that is the float or discrete. Float is also known by the name of decimals value, and float and integer is also known by the name of discrete. Okay, so float, integer. I hope so. This clear. Now we have to move another summary, 5 number summary or 7 number summary. 5 or 7 number of summary. That is, you need to summarize the data in the form of the statistics. Summarize the data in form of statistics. Okay. So we have to type empty.describe. Okay, guys, describe, give me all the basic information about the statistics. Just see this. Number of counts means number of observation. The data set size is the 32 by 11. So just see this 32. Okay. The mean of a particular column by column wise column, the standard deviation STD, minimum number and the maximum number is also mentioned. So 25, 50 and 75 is known by the name of interquartile or quantiles. Okay, this give the information about the data distribution. How percent at 25%, how much the data value distributed. Okay, so if I definitely get a chance in future, I will explain you go for the deep dive of this topic, because this is a very vast topic in the form of the statistics. Okay, so now 50% is also known by the name of median. I will type here so that when I will share this sheet, it will be easier to understand it. 50% is also known by the name of median. Okay, guys. So it's very easy or very typical how to find out the mean. Okay, how you can say ki Dhruv, this is the mean value 50%. If you don't know what is the 50% is mean, then I can show you how we can the mean. So the data is empty. Dot, which column is I will select the column is MPG dot median. See this 19.2. Okay, guys, the 19.2 of the MPG column, I got the median. So just see this 19.2 of median value at the 50% of data, I got it. Okay. I hope so this is clear. Just a wait. If you have a time, then I can share you the one slide also in front of your screen, in front of my screen, so that you can easily understand it, what is exactly going on. Just a second, just a second. Guys, see this. See this. 50%. Minimum to first quartile 25. 25 to 50 is median because it's the central value. Mean is not the central value. Median is always the center value. 50 to 75 third quartile, 75 to 100 is the maximum, which is also known by the fourth quartile. I hope so now it's clear. Now basic concept is clear. Okay. So now after that, somebody asks you starting 5 observation or showing the starting 10 observation, starting the 5 observation by default. So we can use the empty dot head function. See this is the starting 5 observations 0 to 4. Okay, if you can increase the number of count, then you have to mention the number within the parentheses. Suppose I go for the 10. Just see this. Show me 0 to 9. 0 also a part of that particular row. So it's totally number of counts is 10. Okay. So we need to understand all this concept. Once you prepare your data according to yourself, according to the business requirement, then it's very easy to apply the machine learning algorithm. If you did not prepare your data according to the requirement, that you have a face of lots of challenge. Even after applying the machine learning algorithm, your algorithm prediction takes you in a wrong direction, and the total project will fail. And the client kick off you and told you a worst guy, or you have wasted a lot of time, wasted lots of money. Okay, so this is the basic step I will tell you right now in the today's session. My target is that the machine learning algorithm is not my target for every time. Okay, once your base is not clear, then you have a God knows then what will be happening in the future about the prediction. Okay, whether the sun will rise or not. Okay, so this is also based on the prediction. Okay, so this is the thing. Now, if you have want to some last observation, this is the starting observation, and we have go for the last 5 observation by default. So last 5 observation by default. So we have seen in the starting, because the body upper part, our body at the upper part is the head. So keep remember by this tricks. The body upper part is head, so that's why using the upper head function to represent, to visualize the starting 5. In the last, we have the body part is tail. Okay, so we have to use the function. So also with the show start last 5 observation. Just see this. Okay, so this is the last 5 observations. If we can increase it, if we want can increase it, then definitely we can increase it by the number of 20 also. It shows me starting from the 12 to 31. Okay, guys, clear? I think so. This is really helpful for you for the data management part, Pandas. Okay, so now suppose I want to count the number of missing values. Okay, so I can import the another data, so that's really a make a sense also for you to understand all these things. Guys, I'm writing this name because I already import the data into the Jupyter notebook. As you see in my screen, I already import the data in this. See this. All these are data within my Jupyter notebook. How I can upload it? Press this upload button. He will ask you from where you can pick the file. You can easily select it and directly the file of the data set will become inside this Jupyter notebook. Okay, so already is the I'm in the air quality. Just see the name. The name, by what name you have to import it. You have type only that name only. Even that there will be no change of the dot even. Otherwise it shows an error. Just see this. I will show you. See this air quality. See this air quality. Air quality. If A is small, if I type the A is caps, then see this. What it shows me. Just observe it. But I typed his name only as a, it never be happened with me, but today now it's how is happened. I didn't know. So let's move on. We discuss later because this topic I also will confuse right now. But anyways, so this is the data frame. Now, if I want to check the number of missing values, so here we is check the number of how to check the number of missing values. Okay, so we have simply write the air dot describe. Just see this, the number of counts. The number of counts is in the vary from the column to column. So in the ozone, there is 116, in the solar 146, wind, temp, and month and day, they have the 153. Okay. So now how many missing values is be present in this? We can also calculate this by using the counting functions. How we can see this count the number of NA values. So let's see this also. Okay, find out the missing value from through this also. Okay, so in this we have to see this. Okay, or if you can find out the total number of missing values, find out number of counts of missing values, then you have to simple air dot is null but sum. See this 37 and 7 is missing total number of values in ozone. If we can plus 37 in 116, then the total will be become the 173. If we miss plus the 7 in 146, then it become the 153. Okay, so through this method we can go for this. Okay, now if if the data is an object form or the integers value, then how we can check the frequency? So how to check the frequency of particular. So we have simple write the empty dot cyl dot value underscore. Just see this. There are the three categories: the 8 CYL, 4 CYL, and 6 CYL. 8 have 14 observation, 4 have 11 observation, 6 have 7. If we can add 4, 11, and 14, 11, and 7, the count is 32. The dimension of the data set is 32. I already show you in the upper part. The dimension, I will again represent you and 32. See this 32. Of rows is 32, and here if we can add the frequencies value, it also the total count is 32. Okay guys, Now we move on some visualization part. Okay, it is also the important, so that I will be give you some basic knowledge about the visualization part. So for the visualization, we have to import the journal library visualization. Okay, for the visualization, we have to import matplotlib. Okay, for the import, we have to use the matplot lib dot pipe pipeplot pipeplot as pld. Now we have to go for the some visualization of between the two variables that is known by the scatter plot. Scatter plot empty main data set name. By what name we have to import it? By this name we have imported plot dot scatter the mpg dot weight. Okay. Now just see this. Now see this weight and mpg. Okay, guys. If mpg increases, then weight decreases. If weight increases, mpg decreases. Both are the vice versa. Okay, guys, we need to understand this part, because this part is very important because it indicates the correlation value. And without this, we cannot predict or understand the behavior of a parameters. Okay, guys, I hope so this thing is clear. Okay, so this is also known by the name of the indication of this is the correlation values. Okay, guys, so you have to understand all these things. What is correlation and what is this? If you can want to know what is correlation, then I can show you correlation. Or see this. See this correlation values. So negative sign indicates that the inversely proportional. The range of the correlation is +1 to -1. The negative sign indicates that the inversely proportional one is increases, another one decreases, and positive sign indicates the both are increases. Okay, so same here. If you are observing, this is the negative. This is the inversely proportional. Okay. Got it. Now, if you can want to draw all the variables, including in a single plot, then we can use the another library which is known by the name of Seaborn. Seaborn as SNS. Okay. Go for the SNS. SNS dot pair long. Take us some couple of seconds to come on your screen. कुछ और टाइप कर सब टाइम टाइपिंग some other part to make ready. I just see this. We have 11 parameters. So now we got all the 11 parameter visualization in front of your screen. Okay. Now, if you want at least 4 to 5 variables, we create a new data frame and show the plot, which will look very good. So we can also using by this function. I will show you how. I'm creating by the another name is new data frame empty main data set is empty dot ilog function is the iLocation indexer and dollar sign comma sorry colon sign 4. Okay. Now we go for the dot head See this. We have only picked the three variables CYL, disk, and HP. Now, if we can use this SNS here of the See this. See this. We got the only three relationship. What was the CYL, disk, and the HP? Okay. Here also in this pairwise Okay. So if we put the color, just try it. I'm also trying in front of this. See, this is the technique, right or not? No, it's not. Wait, what I'm asking, paper button column. So it's the color. If we go for the some other concept to visualize some different, so we can simply write the for the categories, use for the categories. Okay, so we go for the SNS dot data. The data set is the is equals to CY SNS. SNS. Now see this. The CYL is behavior as in categories, which is represented into a three categories, 4, 6, 8 CY. Excellent. So now all the categories will be divided into the by the different colors. Okay, guys. I hope so. This is very interesting part. Actually, I have limited bound with the some time duration. Now I'll simply directly move on the linear regression. Okay, guys. I'm extremely sorry for that. If I will get a chance in future, definitely I will explain you in detail also. Now we move on the simple machine learning algorithm. First is linear regression. Okay, guys. So now welcome guys again. Guys, on this top of the sheet, I already mentioned my details, my email ID, my contact number. If you anyone can contact or connect with me, then definitely he or she can connect with me. This is with the mail ID and my contact number. Okay, or even you can directly connect with the Meherchand sir. He will connect with you to you with me also. So now we move on the some linear regression part. Multiple. Okay, guys. So now, what is regression? So in this, we have observed regression. I will show you just wait. In regression, process of a statistical model is created a best predicting the outcome or probability of an outcome. Okay, predicting modeling by using the historical data for us collecting data. Okay, so analytics or predictive or machine learning is working on the prediction on the basis of the probability. So we need to understand all these things which make easier how we can approach towards the data. Okay. So in this scenario, if we can consider if the father's height will increases, then definitely the son height is also increases because the father heights or son heights always tends to the regress with each other. So suppose if we can connect these points by using the straight line, then our target is to minimize the distance. To minimize the distance means to minimize the standard error. Okay, so if you are observing the second paragraph for classical linear regression or the least square method, you can only measure the closeness. As we can minimize the distance between the point, then best model should be fitted in terms of error, in terms of the accuracy also. So this is the regression line, and this is are the dotted are the data point. Data point is also known by the name of an observation. So we have to find out the best fitted line
By that line, we all the minimization of the distance of all the data points. Okay. The lower data point is always in the negative direction, and the upper data point, which is above from the line, is always the positive direction, positive sign. If we can add this both negative and positive and square it, why we do the squaring? Because it might be possible sometimes that the more data point is in the negative distance, then the negative prediction will go, but the distance will never be negative. That's why we can add the negative and positive and square them. That's why this algorithm is work on the least square methods or least square estimations. Okay, so our target is to find out the best fitted line, the distance between all the point and their distance to our line. We can minimize the distance, so that our target is to minimize it. So there are lots of different methods from which we can minimize the distance. What is the method? Are the sum of squared error, the sum of absolute error, the sum of the least square error method, we can minimize the distances. So the predictive modeling is processed by statistical modeling, the best predict outcome. Best is in terms of accuracy as well in terms of the error. But in my career for the last 7 years, first I observe the errors only rather than the focusing on the accuracy. If my error is minimized, if the or error is 10%, sorry, if the accuracy is even the 10% out of 100 and error is minimized, then definitely it works. If my error is large and accuracy is 100, then definitely it will fail the real life. So from my end, I always focus on the error rather than the focusing on the accuracy. Okay. So predicting modeling are developing using historical data from the purpose collected data. There are all the sectors right now, it totally depend on the data science and machine learning. 100% companies are working on the data science, machine learning and deep learning. And 2 to 5% companies are working on the all data science, machine learning, deep learning, but they are using the artificial also because artificial intelligence need a huge investment. So right now, only in the worldwide, only 2 to 3 or 4% companies are using the AI. Okay, 100% companies using the machine learning, data science, and all these concepts. So linear regression always work on the straight line. Okay, so this is the very important part. Linear regression in terms of linear regression sense, y equals to ax plus b. So our target is dependent variable. If somebody asks you about the regression, so regression is a relationship between the two variables. One is dependent, another one is independent. Dependent means output, independent means input variables. Just see this. Just see this. Y equals to beta naught plus beta 1 into x. Y is the dependent variable, which we have to find out on the basis of these input variables. Beta is a constant or an intercept. Okay, beta 1 is a coefficient, means slope. X1 is the independent variable, the one variable. So suppose if we can take an example, if our salary is increases on the base of the experience, then these red dots indicates the data points, मतलब experiences, and different persons. Okay, so what is that? We have to find out the salary on the basis of the experience. So Y indicate the salary because we have to find out the salary. Beta naught is an intercept. We also find out that beta 1 is the coefficient or slope, and x1 is the independent variable, which is input variable. So on what basis we have to find out the salary, the experience, because experience value we have got it. Okay, so just see this. If my experience is 0, just see, observe this figure. If my experience is 0, then my salary is 30K. If my experience is 1, then my salary becomes 40. 30 plus 10 equals to 40K, means 40,000. So salary equals to beta naught, we have to fit it 30. Beta 1 is the 10 and experience is 1. So we can get a salary, total salary after the 1 year. Okay. So on which method it works? Ordinary least square. Okay, ordinary least square. If somebody asks you on which algorithm machine regression work, so you have said least square error method or ordinary least square, which calculate the distance between the or which can minimize the distance between the observed value
and the predicted value. Okay. So observed value is y hat and predicted value is y. So always there's a difference between. Now I'll show you some practical concepts so that you can easily understand this slide. Okay. For this, I have to import the library first for the statistical prediction stats model and dot formula dot API is SM API. Okay. Now, in this, suppose we have take the dependent variable, we have take MPG. We have taken some MPG also. In the independent and variable, we have take some displays, some weight. Okay. So now we have created a model one by using the SMAPI.OLS. I told you OLS model. So OLS ordinary least square and formula is equals to MPG. MPG is a output variable or a dependent variable. Dependent variable is also known by the name of output variable. I can mention over here output. Now we use the some regress sign with the independent variable means input variable. Input variable is also known by the name of predictors. It is also known by the name of response variable. Response. Okay. So what is the input variable on the basis of weight? We can close the inverted commas or single commas. By what name we have import the data is empty. We have to fit the model. Now we have to simply print this model one dot summary. See this. We got the statistical summary OLS. OLS result. So dependent variable means output variable is MPG. I already mentioned over here MPG dependent variable, or I mentioned over here dependent. Method is least square. I already told you. Today date is 12th October. Time is in India. The time is 6:52. The number of observation is 32. DF. What is DF? DF is the degree of freedom. Degree of freedom is means total number of observations. The total number of observation is 2, but out of these two, we have using these two also. So 32 minus 2 is 30. And DF model, the degree of freedom of model is 1. This is known by the independent variable because in this we have using the only one independent variable. Okay, WT. So that's why it's 1. Okay, R square, you have simply easy language, in layman language, R square is the accuracy. Okay, 75% our model is scored. Okay, so 75% our model is scored. Okay, so say 0.7, his range is 0 to 1. If you can convert to a percentage, then it will become the 75.3%. And adjusted R square is the modified version of the R square. It's nearby. These both values are nearby. So accuracy is 75 out of 100. Okay, so this is the intercept value and this is the independent variable. Good, slow. So now we have just type an equation and fitted all this value in this equation and observe it, what the prediction we will get. Okay. The equation is y equals to beta naught beta 1 into x1. So beta naught is equals to means intercept. What is the intercept value? 37.2851. Okay. 27 or 37. 37.2. Okay, I show you. I do this later, but I show you by the syntax function. So now we have just predicting by the prediction is equals to model 1 dot predict Now I got the 32 observation in the form of the prediction value. Now I can add this column into the current working data set. See this. This is the data frame. So when the car manufacturing unit measure the MPG of this car is 21, but my model predicted 23. So this indicates that my model is good as compared to this model. It's 23. Its prediction is 21. My prediction of this car is 21. This prediction is 21.4. My prediction this is 20. We are near about it. Okay, this is the prediction. We're talking about the prediction. Now, how we can use the manually, what is the mathematical data science going behind this? So you know the equation of this is beta naught plus beta 1 into x1. So beta naught is the intercept value, which is the 37.285. Okay. Beta 1 value is minus 5 point. Just wait, I have to observe the value. Is the 5.3445. 5.35. Okay, and x1 is the input variable, means independent variable. What is the independent variable in this model? Is the WT, as I showed you. So we have to pick the WT value from the data. The first row data WT value is 2.62. Okay, is 2.62. So is the 6. Okay, now we can fitting this value in this upper equation. So is 37.285 plus, and bracket is minus 5.3445 into this value. HP weight is 2.62. Okay, go for the y. Just see this. एक काम करते हैं, we are putting the hashtag, otherwise वो क्या होगा, otherwise it will show me an error. It's 23.284 value of the first observation. Now compare this value. Okay. Guys, clear? So tell me if there is any doubt. If you have any doubt, then we can connect right now rather than move forward. Any question?
Dear participant, if you have any question, please you can unmute yourself and put your question, or either you can also share your question in the chat box.
I know no one have the question because I explained so much so well to everyone in the layman language. They can easily understand. Am I right, guys? I know. I explain in so simplified language so that you can easily understand it. I'm not doing any complicated coding. I can also do the complicated coding, but my motive is not to show you the how much Python is so much advanced part. No, I can perform each and every task in a simplified manner. This is the creativity. Rather than doing the copy pasting from the Google, because Google always shows the complicated coding. If we are not the coder background down, how we can move into the data science? This is my main task. Everyone can work on the data science. Only the main thing is that you have to must the graduate certificate. If you have the graduation, then definitely you can understand it. You can enter into this field by doing this certification course. For this certification course, you to connect with the mayor sir. He will definitely tell what is the procedure to complete this certification course. Am I right, sir?
Yes, sir, sure.
Okay, guys. So,
Hello.
yes, sir. Anyone?
Hello.
Yes, who's this? Please tell me your name and ask your question.
Okay, my name is Wycliffe. My question is, if we subtract predictions from MPG and get some difference, is the sum of the differences going to be 0?
How it become a zero if the value prediction is ever be zero?
Sorry, I mean if we sum the differences between the MPG and predictions.
If we can take a difference between the prediction and MPG, okay, no, not always be zero, because our task is to improve it, not to decrease it. If we get a 0, 0, then what is the use of model to create it? Why we can create a model in less than the time? Our task is to find out those parameters which really directly affect on the output variable. You got it? You understand it? Because there is so much lots of variables. We have only taken one variable in the input form because this is the linear regression. And linear regression tell us we have a relationship between the dependent variable with the one independent variable. And multiple is tell us the relationship between the dependent variable with the more than one independent variable. Got it?
Yes, thank you.
And also you get an answer. Okay. In this model, we have only worked on the one variable. Now in the coming model, we have to work on the 2, 4 or 6 variables so that you can easily understand it, which variable affect more on the MPG. Because in the starting, I already told you, we have the task to find out those important parameters who's really helpful for the business problem. Rather than pick those variables who didn't play a vital role in the prediction. Got it? Now we draw some regression line. Okay, so it also the important part. Regression line or a best fitted line or the best fitted line. Anyone have other questions? Otherwise, I will move on. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. ELT dot lot data is empty, the main data frame. The variable which you are using for the prediction is input variable is WT, I think so. The independent parameter is the WT. Here we have to mention the first input variable, that is WT, comma, sorry. And again, the empty, the independent parameter is MPG. And we have to shape required for this. Then PLT dot lot displacement comma take dot line width. How much line width we have to require to represent it is equals to the 2. Okay, so LT dot X label. We are labeling first X label because WT is the input variable, so that's why I represent it on the X, and Y is on the output variable. So we have to for the output out label is equal is the MPG. So now the title, the heading of this plot is PLT title. It's not the double T, the single T, otherwise shows an error. MPG versus disp. See this. What is the name? It is the predict. Okay. Yes, it's predict. 20 and T. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm just take a wrong, select a wrong variable. Now see this. Just see this. Then decreasing order. Matlab, if in the inversely proportional, you can observe this by this value also. Inversely proportional. Got it? Okay. Now, yes. Anyone have question? Anyone have a question? Otherwise, we move on the multiple linear regression. We have some limited time right now. Okay, we can move it. Move on.
Hello? 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 Hello,
Yes.
Mr. Zaude and Samuel, please unmute your speaker or your mic, please.
Yes, tell me.
Mr. Samuel, please unmute your speaker. Hello?
Yes, tell me. I'm in the unmute. Tell me more.
Mr. Samuel, please. Yeah, now it is. What's it? Continue.
Now we move on the multiple linear regression. Guys, please mute your mic. All the guys, please mute the mic. If you have question, then only you can unmute it. Now, just see this slide. Multiple linear regression. What is the multiple linear regression? The multiple linear regression is an extension of the simple linear regression. It is used. We want to predict the value of a variable based on the value of two or more variables. Means two or more independent variable, the input variable. The variable we want to predict it is called a dependent variable or sometimes called a response variable. I told you the variable used to predict the value of dependent variable can also called as independent variable or sometimes the predictor, explanatory and regressor variables. Okay, guys. So now equation which is in the linear regression is y equals to beta naught plus beta 1 into x1. In this, the multiple variable more than one, so it's go for the n number of times. These random errors. Okay. So what is the least square method? The least square criteria state the sum of the squares of errors is minimum. Mathematically, following quantity is minimized to estimate parameter using least square method. Got it, guys? I hope so. This is clear. Now we move on some practical work. Okay, now we create a model 2. Now we take the multiple parameters. You see this. These coefficients were we can got it through this model. Okay. Now again same output dependent variable. This model OLS method least square date, time, number of observation is 32. Now number of degree of freedom of residual is 26. The total is 32. And we are using out of this 32, we are using 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 32 minus 6 is 26. And total input is 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It means independent parameter is number of 5 degree of freedom. Okay, the accuracy of our model is 84%. Guys, just see this. 84. As many as we can add the predictor variable, means input variable, the accuracy improve. But there is lots of chance for increasing the errors also. So we need to understand it exactly what is going on. Which variables are important and which variables does not important. Okay. So if you have, okay. So now we move on some prediction part by using all these things. Okay. Can use it, can use it. Now we can again calculate it. Okay. If you want, then we can add some other parameters rather than this. Okay. We give the model 2, sorry, model 3, and we can rather than wait, we use the CYL plus start in place of AM. We can use the AM, in the HP, we can use the car. Okay, and we can simply use accuracy increase from 84 to 85. Okay, guys. Now we can go for the prediction again. How we can use the prediction? You all knows regarding the prediction. One is equals to L3 dot predict. See this. Noted. Now we can add a column. Empty. One equals to it. See this, the second prediction. The first 21.2 as the 21. Okay. Now we can use some manual concept. Using this. The number of variables is how we have the number, how much 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So not plus beta 1 into x1 beta 2 3 plus beta 4 plus beta 5 into x. Okay. Beta 1 no beta not. The beta not value is approx 32.91. Okay, is 32.91. Beta 1 is equals to WT minus WT minus 2.3 WT. Four. So in this we have to CYL is minus 1.06. CYL is CYL is 0.06, beta 3 is D dot 0.85, 0.85. Is AM 1.547. 1.7. Fifth one is 0 point minus car. Equals to 0.84. Okay. And apply all this value. The equals to beta naught T2 plus minus T. The WT value first is the 2.620. 2.662 plus CYL value is 1.6 into CY value is 6 is 6 plus 0.85 dot value is 3.90. 3. Okay. And the AM is 0.547. And the carb is 0.84. I think so. There is some mistake. Minus. We get approx the 102. There is some fluctuation because I'm not taking the more than two values and they have considered all the three values. So you will just observe all these things. It is a part of prediction. Now regression. Now guys, always keep remember in the regression, the dependent variable must be a numeric, not the categories. If you have to take the categorical variable in the regression, then you did not never get a prediction about the future. Okay, so this is the multiple and simple linear regression. If somebody asks on which algorithm regression works, so regression works is a least square estimation. Okay, or the dependent variable behavior must be the numeric. As you observe it, the MPG behavior is a numeric, which is in the float values. Okay, so this is talk about the linear and multiple. I gave you some overview about the logistic. Logistics work for the categorical. Wait, I will show you some slides so that because we don't have time for the practical, but I can share my knowledge of the about the binary classification so that you can perform yourself also. I can share my screen. So just see this. The binary logistic. The binary logistic is, I hope so the regression is clear to all of you. If you have any doubt, then please ask me quickly. Otherwise, I will explain you some basic concept of the logistic regression. Guys, ask me frequently. Come on, ask me quickly. Any question about the regression linear multiple? Any doubt? I hope so. The background equation is also clear to you.
Hello,
Yes, who's this? Tell me your name.
my name is Wycliffe.
Sorry,
My name is Wycliffe.
Wycliffe. Okay, tell me.
Yes. You say the accuracy of the model is 85%, but we have that R squared and adjusted R squared. Which one should we report?
It should be the R square because adjusted R square is the modified version. So this is always the nearby about the R square. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
R square is more important in terms of the accuracy. We are talking about the accuracy. Okay, it tells us the difference between the observed and the predicted value. How much your model should be determined or defined in terms of variance. So your model should be defined in terms of variance up to the 85%. Or your independent variable, how much your model should be explained by the independent variable to the dependent variable. Okay. Any other question? Okay, thank you so much. Now binary. Fastly, quickly tell you about let you know about the binary. In binary logistic regression, the dependent variable must be the binary 0, 1, 2, false, yes, no, win, lose. All these categories and this algorithm starting 3. Yes, any question? Yes. Mesfin, mute your mic first.
Please carry on.
So binary logistic regression, the dependent variable categories must be a categorical, means object in the binary form. The dependent variable, independent variable is also categorical or categorical. The variable dependent, independent type must be anything else. It doesn't matter. The matter is what the behavior of a dependent variable, because we are predicting the dependent variable on the basis of the independent variable. Okay. So what are some application, marketing analytics, cross-selling products, fraud detections, credit card issued or not, loan approved or not, churns management, customer churn, employee churns, risk management, fraud on all this thing, market research, clinical health, the diabetes, the patient detection, the COVID-19 is present or not, your symptom will be COVID or 19 or not. So these are the things we have to work upon it. Okay, why not the linear regression? So always keep remember the regression is work on the least square and the logistic work on the probability. Keep remember this one. If somebody asks you the difference between the logistic and the regression, then you have to say the graphical. The graphical is a straight line. The blue line in front of your screen is a linear regression, and the S-shaped curve or the curve shape, which is also known by the name of sigmoid function, is the linear is a logistic regression. So multiple linear regression equation is this, and the logistic regression is indicated by the p equals to 1/1 plus e to the power minus, means we are talking about the exponential. Okay. So in binary logistic regression, y is used for the left-hand side for the model that two sides are not comparable. Okay. If you are observing in this figure, the orange and the blue line will be cut. This cut value is known by the name of cutoff values or threshold value. So by default, our application Jupyter will pick up the cutoff values 0.5. If your value is above more than the 0.5 or 0.5, it directly convert to the 1. If it will be less than 0.5, then it directly convert to the 0. You can set your cutoff value of your model according to yourself. It's totally depend on your choice. Okay. Now read the third part. If probability P is used to instead of Y, then linearity may not be hold. Okay. Clear? Then that's the S-shaped curve. S means sigmoid function. Now, guys, this is the equation we have to work on it. Y is a binary log equals to 1/1 minus P, probability, independent parameters, all these things. And on this equation, we have to work started. And how we get this equation? Just take a log both sides, put the value of 1 in place of P, then you get this equation log P upon 1 minus P beta naught plus beta 1 into F. You simply got this equation. This equation. This is the logistic linear regression equation. I hope so. The basic concept logistic and regression is on the numerical, it work on the categorical, straight line, least square, and shape. Now, guys, it's over from my end. Is there any question? Please let me know. Sir, thank you so much. It's over from my side.
Thank you, sir. Dear participant, if you have any question, please feel free to ask. You can unmute yourself and you can directly ask from today's speaker. Or either you can put your, you can drop your question in the chat box also.
So, guys, this session will be fruitful for you in sense of libraries and machine learning algorithm.
Hello.
Yes.
Presenter, you have question on chat box. Let me raise those questions for you. From Mr. Asai Balai, would you show us the program of Python for model diagnosis?
Sorry,
Is
programming of?
the program of Python for model diagnosis.
I can share the sheet with the mayor, sir. He will forward you.
Okay.
Right,
Okay.
sir?
Okay. The other question is,
All the content will be shared to all the participants and previously has been shared. And today's content also shared with all the participants through their email address.
okay. The other question is, can the output of linear regression as input to logistic regression? This is from Mr. Getunat Asfau.
Sorry, pardon.
The output of linear regression
Yes.
used as input to logistic regression. Is it possible to use the output of linear regression to the input for logistic regression?
Definitely, because the output variable is in the float values. But in the logistic regression, the input will be in the float as well as the categorical. But the output in the logistic must be the categorical.
Okay, I hope Mr. Getunat again, he has another question. Can classification of problems be solved using linear regression? Is from
It might be possible. You can use it, but you have to change the first variable type. If you the variable type from object to integers or float values, then you can use it. Otherwise, it will be just challengeable for you. You are already choose the output in the infinity, plus infinity to minus infinity.
Okay. The other question from Ochala, how do we test for multi-collineary in predictors before running multiple regression?
Sorry, how you can?
Test for multi-collineary in predictors before.
My dear sir, multicollinearity follows the another method which is known by the variance inclination factor, which is the another part of the machine learning algorithm. So this algorithm, that algorithm is not covered in this session because that part is not in the part of syllabus. Am I right, sir?
Okay, thank you. This is on the chat box. Participants also has a chance to raise what should to be clear for them.
I hope so. Everything is clear to all of you. That's why there is a last question. I hope so. More question from your side, but that indicates that all that clear from my end. Am I right, sir? Okay, sir. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. All the best. Best of luck for the future. Connect with the mayor, sir. Here you go. Hello. Okay.
Hello,
Yes. Yes, Adam.
I have one question.
Yes, Adam, tell me.
Why logistic regression is important as linear regression is used to minimize the error, and what is the objective of logistic regression to be fitted as there is no error term in logistic regression.
Adam, please repeat the question again. Why the linear regression?
There is no error term in logistic regression.
Sorry.
The objective of linear regression is to minimize the error in linear regression. Now, what is the objective of the logistic regression to be fitted? And what is the method to be estimate the parameter in logistic regression?
In the linear regression, the errors will be calculated or minimized through the best fitted line or the pickup of a variable, right? Variable which is known by the multicollinearity, as your previous participant asked it. How we can find out the multicollinearity? So best procedure is to find out the important variable in the linear regression, but rather than linear regression, we work on the multiple, because linear regression increases the cost function, and we can minimize the cost function into the multiple linear regression. And in the logistic regression, if we want to work on that, and we can fluctuate our cutoff values. If the business problem is so much serious, then we can increase the cutoff value. Rather than 0.5, we can take the 0.8. Suppose if we can take and working on the cancer data patient, so this is the very critical data. So rather than to show some cancer patient to the normal patient, then it's a adverse effect. So we can increase the cutoff value so that we can easily detect it whether this patient is cancer or not. You got it?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your doubt clear? Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Sir, should I leave it? Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Just 1 minute, sir. Please,
Peacefully.
Dhruv sir, please, just 1 minute. Please unshare your screen.
Sir, should I share my screen?
Unshare.
Okay. Okay. Wait, sir. Wait, sir. Wait. Yes, sir.
Today's session is very successful. In this session, advanced charts, contour plot, surfaces, scatter plots, 3D bar, chart bar in 3D, multi-panel plots, display subplots, grades of subplots, algorithm, linear regression, logistic regression has been discussed. And questions from the participant also has been successful. And I hope this is very successful session today. Sir, we are awarded you a certificate of appreciation
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. My pleasure, sir.
for imparting your valuable thoughts in this session. 1 week international virtual workshop on data science with Python, organized by School of Computing and Informatics, Mazita University, Ethiopia, in collaboration with the Methodic Thinking Foundation, India. Thank you for your valuable time and informative knowledge shared in this session. And I hope this will be very helpful to all the participants. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. My pleasure, sir. My pleasure. Thank you, guys. All the best for your future. Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Hello? Hello?
Oops.
Hello, Doctor. Already you delivered the certificate for the speaker.
Yes, sir.
Now you delivered the certificate for the presenter, and it is a time for Mr. Yidek Mamo. It is the Chief Executive Director of Tepi Campus, Mizan Tepi University, Ethiopia. He will address the closing speech of this training. So, Doctor, invite Mr. Yidek. Hello?
Am I allowed?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, all. Doctor, Your Excellency, it's a great time. I was been not here around before up to yesterday. Just I can't able to follow all of the training, but I am so happy for this program and our partnership. We are here for the third time, starting from SPSS and journal publication. Now, today, data science with Python is delivered. Our track is wonderful and appreciable. So I would like to thank Matech Foundation and all of the members, including the president. So it's appreciable. We hope that we will have another training session as soon as possible and with different specialization. So this is a great opportunity for us as well for you. So our staffs, thank you for the participation. It's not easy task. About 400 members are participated in this training. So it is good, and we are on the way of delivering such like good certifying trainings. It's appreciable. Thank you, doctor. I will see you soon. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ridak. Now it is a time for giving a vote of thanks by Dr. Merchant. He is the president of MathTech Thinking Foundation on this training, international virtual training. So, Doctor, give us your vote of thanks.
Thank you, sir, for inviting me. This workshop was organized with the collaboration of Method Thinking Foundation by Mazen Tapi University, and various events has been already organized, and all the event which we collaboratively joined organized were very successful, and numerous participants are always there and waiting for the coming events also. In this workshop, first I congratulate and thanks to Mr. Yidek Memo, Chief Executive Officer Director, Bayezid University, Ethiopia. Mr. Saganu SME at the School of Computing and Informatics, Bayezid University, Ethiopia. Mezegebe Arya, School of Computing and Informatics, RCSV, Dean Bayezid University, Ethiopia. And thanks to all the keynote speakers, Professor Puja, Southern University, Uzbekistan, Professor Ajay Kumar, Department of Computer Science, Chitkara University from India. Then we have a speaker S. Amutha, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, PSR Engineering College, Tamil Nadu, India. Dr. Upinder Kaur, Akal University, Bathinda. Mr. David Desogemo, Department of Computer Science, Bayezid University, Ethiopia, and Manichili Alege Tefera, Department of Informatic Technology, Bayezid University, Ethiopia, and today's speaker Dhruv Govil, data scientist and consultant, Global Gurgaon, India. and all the coordinators, Gitahund and Hemanot Bitu, Mata Asafa for their valuable time and keep in touch regularly to see all the things, and how we can forget Vegayo and Vele, Executive Officer MTF from Ethiopia, and also the major role of all the participants who take interest in this type of event. In this pandemic situation, it is very hard to attend this type of event to organize. It is very hard, but still you have always observed that you have a lot of interest to attend this type of event, and your contribution and interest in this type of event always motivate us, and in future we also regularly organize this type of event, and I hope jointly we can collaborate, we can contribute for the society, for the faculty members, for nations and worldwide. Many scholars, research scholars, students are always with us this type of event, and in this event, when I check that there are about 400 participants around the world, and we are targeting about in this event 34 countries who participated in this event. Also, because all the things we are organizing online, there is a very big cooperation from all sides to make this type of event very successful. Because there are two sessions parallelly. One is live streaming and through Cisco WebEx, and still there are also contents and links we are always sharing with all the participants, so that sometimes there is some technical problem or there is a network issue, so that they can attend these things when they have the link through available all the content through on YouTube also. So that I think all these things we manage, we are trying to manage to provide all these things to all the participant different places. Also, it is very important information to all of you that regular feedback from your side always motivate us, and in the previous events we see that there is very positive and supportive feedback from all the participants, and during these sessions also there is very strong feedback from all of you, and this feedback always motivate us to work for all the students, faculty members from different places, and they provide also very kind suggestions to improve the quality, and we always focusing on it, how we can improve these things, how we can contribute for the society, and all these things are successful because of all the participants or all the coordinators, members, and director from Mycetap University, and faculty members from Mycetap University's coordinators, and from my side also this event I hope very successful. Feedback links already shared with you in the chat box, and also it will be shared with you on your email address. It is very important to submit there, because when we get the your information on registration form, and when we send the emails to your registered email address, we found that some email addresses are not correct, and we are failed to send emails to all of you. So it is very important who are attending this workshop, and they submit their feedback so that we can have a correct email address regularly. Thank you all of you once again to make this event successful, and in the coming days there will be several workshops, training programs, webinars, and also we have the proposal from Mycetap University to organize a wonderful international conference, and we are working together on it, and very soon we will launch this event. jointly, and we hope good contribution, collaborations from around the places, from all the universities who are attending this training workshop. Thank you all of you for your valuable time and attending this workshop regularly. Thank you very much. Now it is time to leave this meeting, and we will again together at the same platform with a new event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.